Have you ever knit or crocheted a sweater, a cardigan sweater that has buttons up the front, and then found over time that where the buttons were attached, that they were pulling forward and stretching the fabric and just making the whole piece hang forward? I want to share a tip with you today that comes from the world of sewing, from couture fashion. And this is a tip that my grandmother taught me. So we're stepping into Grandma's knitting basket today, and I'm glad you're here. I'm Suzi Quillen. I'm the Empress of Yarn here at Perfectly Knotty, and I'm glad you're following along. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you comment, all that stuff that, YouTube likes us to do. This question comes from someone in the free Stitchery Journey community over on School. And I just think it's such a good one that I wanted to try to bring a little more detail to it. So what we're talking about is stabilizing our knit and crochet fabric for button placket on the front of our sweater. So in this example, this little paper example here, we have our button placket right here, right? And that's going to overlap, buttonholes on one side, buttons on the other. Could do whatever side you do, but what we want to do is we want to stabilize that front. And the way to do that is to use fabric or even a grosgrain ribbon. Grosgrain ribbon is probably one of my favorites. I don't know if this is going to actually autofocus on it, but I like grosgrain ribbon because it's sturdy. It does not stretch sideways the way a satin ribbon will. It has a really nice clean edge, and it has enough density to it that it doesn't tear, and comes in lots of different widths, so you can just buy whatever width you want. What we're going to do, let's take a look at this vest that I knit last year. Of course, I can't show the whole thing here, but we're going to just kind of take a look at it. But here we have the placket, which is this part right here that is done in this case in seed stitch. And I did not put buttons on this project. The pattern did call for buttons, but the way that I wanted to wear it, I did not want the buttons, so I left that part out. But you can add buttons if you want them or not. That's up to you. That's part of the whole thing about being able to custom make the things to fit you, fit your style, fit your personality. But this fabric stretches, and if I were to put a button on here, it could over time just kind of pull that fabric forward and just add weight and tension. So what we do is we add a stabilizer on the back side. So to the inside of this front placket, I would locate, this one has a hood, so it's a little bit more of a challenge, right? The shoulder seam and a little bit down from the shoulder seam. And then we would take this grosgrain ribbon, fold over the end, press it so it stays in place. This is not the right width, by the way, because this is just an example. We're going to put it here, and we're going to use pins. I like long pins. These are long, and these have the flat shapes on them, so they lay flat. Use lots of pins, lots and lots of pins, so it lays really flat. And you want to take your time, and you want to make it sure that it lines up and that it's aligned with the stitches, that the fabric is not pulling, which of course it is while I'm holding it this way instead of laying it flat on a table, which is what I would do if I was really doing this. But we're going to do that. We're going to go all the way down to where we want that to stop. If you haven't already cut it to length, cut it. Again, fold the end under so it stays under. Press it so it's nice and crisp. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew this in place. I do not, in this case, recommend sewing it with the yarn. And the reason for that is that the needle you use is larger. And as it pierces through the woven strands of the ribbon, it's going to either pull those apart and cause distortion, or it's actually going to break some of those fibers. Again, removing stability. I do recommend that you sew this on using sewing thread. You can, and you're going to do that, but I recommend you can do it two different ways. You can do it by hand, or you can do it by machine. Doing it by machine is a little trickier. So let's talk about sewing your placket facing on by hand first. You're going to, you can do a whip stitch or a buttonhole stitch, or an along the edge, and do one of them, the stitches that goes right along the edge and out into the fabric over here. Buttonhole stitch is really great. Handkerchief hem stitch is really great. There's some really good edge stitches that you can do for that, or you can just do a running stitch and just do it right close along the edge as you go down. Make even, consistent stitches. Here's the thing that you need to pay attention to. It's on the front side. You want to make sure that your stitches are not crushing or distorting the visible stitches on this side. It's not hard, but it is a little tedious. If you're in a hurry, you're more likely to have some pulls and things on the front side that just don't look quite right. So make sure that you take your time, especially the first time you do it. The more you do it, the less tedious it is and the more natural it starts to become. If you've ever done a mattress stitch seaming of parts together, you know that the first time you do it, it takes a long time and it's tedious. But once you get the hang of it and you get a rhythm and a flow going, it's great. Similar with Kitchener stitch, right? It's a little awkward. It's a little weird the first time you do it, and the first one you do might not look quite right. But the more you do it, the better you get. Similar, okay? Similar. So you're going to put this facing on both the button side and the buttonhole side. But I did mention sewing this on with a sewing machine, which you can do. But there are some little extra steps that you need to take in order to get that high-end finish that you want, instead of it just looking like an afterthought, because we want this to look and be intentional, an intentional design choice, not an accident. If you're sewing it on with a machine, you want to make sure that you're lining your needle up in line with your stitches. So it is really helpful, if you're going to do this by machine, that it's something you pre-plan. If I was doing that on here, I would have made in the seed stitch one column that was just stockinette on this side here and one on this side, the width of my ribbon. And then I would pin it from the back side right on the purl bump column, and then on this knit side so that I'm sewing right down the middle of those stacked V stitches to keep those stitches lined up, to keep it from crushing and distorting the knit fabric. You do that one stitch at a time, one stitch at a time, one stitch at a time. It's slow, but it does give a really nice secured finish. tips on that. The feed dogs that are underneath on your sewing machine, they can pull that fabric and cause additional distorting. So, pro tip here, either disengage your feed dogs and sew just one stitch at a time, nice and slow, making sure your ribbon is staying lined up and all of your things are lined up. Needle down, make sure it's right. Needle down, make sure it's right. If your feed dogs do not disengage, take a piece of waxed paper and put it over the feed dogs, between the feed dogs and the fabric. It will not sew it in. There might be a couple of little pieces, but it'll just tear right away, and it works really, really great. And the waxed paper will not hurt your machine or your fabric. So those are some little tips there. When it comes to sewing the buttons on, you want to make sure you sew the button on through your stabilizer fabric, your placket fabric, right? And when it comes to your buttonholes, you also have to factor in with your buttonholes, are they horizontal or are they vertical? Because if they're horizontal, you need a placket facing that is wide enough to accommodate the width of your buttonholes with margin on either side. If you've hand knit or crocheted your buttonholes in, after you sew your placket facing on the wrong side, you need to go to the front side and you need to sew around the opening of the buttonhole so that the buttonhole stays lined up with the hole that you're going to make in the placket facing. Again, you can do this by machine. You can just use a simple straight stitch around the edges. You can use a buttonhole technique if you want to. That's a little bit more challenging to do with your hand knit fabric. I would recommend that you practice that a couple times on a swatch just to get a feel for how that would work. Or you can just, again, go back to your hand stitching and just do a simple buttonhole stitch around that opening. And that way, when you take your sharp scissors and you cut the ribbon open, the opening on your hand knit and crochet fabric stays lined up with the opening that you cut in your applied stabilizer. I know it seems like a lot, and these are the little details that help you take your sweater from being homemade to handmade, from handmade to couture. Here's a fun little idea for you to think about. Think about the impact that you are making with your garment and think fun, think elegant. If you want a very elegant look, choose a facing that is matching, kind of blends quietly and seamlessly into the coloration of your project. But if you want to make a standout, playful, fun choice, consider using fabric that is playful and contrasting. Cabby, the fashion design company Cabby, is known for doing this with their jackets. They will do the facing and the lining, the button plackets, and even finishing their seams with fabrics that are surprisingly contrasting to the outerwear of the garment. I had a sage sort of jacket, and it was a sage color, and it was really cute. But the placket facing and all of the inside seams were bias taped with an orange and white floral print. So strikingly contrasting to the sage green that it made it fun and playful, made a little fun peek. I have a pair of shorts that are just kind of boring beige. But the pocket flaps, the underside of the pocket flaps, is a super fun and playful color, as is the lining inside the zipper. It matches the pocket flaps. These are the little tiny details that you can choose in your sewing as well as your hand knit and crocheted garments that just add a little playful fun to the whole thing. And it's done right. It's very intentional and very elevated. So those are some of little tips for you for buttons on your hand knit or hand crocheted cardigan or button-up blouse, vest like this one here, that I think you might find just a little bit next level. Just a little bit next level. So if you have a question of your own, I would absolutely love it if you join us over in the Stitchery Journey community. There's a link down in the description down below, and you can go sign up. It's free to join the community, and if you find the information that I provide valuable and helpful, the premium level is Stitchery Adventure, and it's $6 a month. That is a cup of coffee once a month. And that allows me to help provide you with these helpful tips and tutorials and encouragements and mindset shifts about our knitting and our crochet. So there you have it. I'm Suzi Quillen. This is Perfectly Knotty's YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit like, say nice things in the comments, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I hope to see you over in the Stitchery Journey community.